got to start doing the paintwork on the boat, because as with every boat that I've ever seen, it has little spots of rust all over it. Even the brand new boats that have been on the canals for just a few weeks or a few months have little scuffs and scrapes on, so you can see why they get a bit rusty. And what we had was a rather bad piece of rust bubbling through the paint here. So I grabbed hold of, well, we popped out to Halfords, and I grabbed hold of a bit of I call it cure rust. Always have. This is, you know, I used to use this stuff on my very old cars back in the 70s, just to touch up a bit of rust. The guy in Halfords corrected me when I said, "Have you got any cure rust?" He said, "Oh, Curust." But it's spelt K-U-R-U-S-T, and it cures rust. So I think the manufacturers, I'm pretty confident that the manufacturers would want me to pronounce it as cure rust. So what you do with this stuff is you scrape off the bits of rust or the bits of flaky paintwork. I mean, here's one that I've not done there. There's other bits and pieces around. I mean, our intention is, and always was, to get a boat that was livable. Ours is, but needed a bit of work, so the price was lower. And that, I think we've just about hit the right spot there. But it's got stuff like this. You can see sort of rust bubbling through the paintwork there. Things like this. I mean, these are all pretty normal. And I'm just going down the side here just to look, see if I can find any other bad bits. I can't at the moment, but you know, there's bits and pieces all over the front of the boat. I mean, look, the whole thing looks a bit tired. These are stickers. They've been stuck on. They're not painted, and the print is sort of wearing off. So what I did is I rubbed down the paintwork on that little bit of rust that was coming through. I mean, here's another little scrapey piece where the paint is coming off. There's more bits and pieces on the roof. But what you do is you rub down the paint so that the bare metal is showing, or, you know, really take it back, smooth it all out, you know, sandpaper it, and then on the bare metal you get a bit of this. Pour that in a separate container, because you don't want the rust going back in, because it'll activate in the pot. And then paint it onto the bare metal. You leave it for about 3 hours, and then over that time it's white when it goes on. It's sort of a white liquid. Over that time the white liquid disappears and the metal turns black, and what that means is that the reaction is happening, and it's actually converting the rust back into some sort of metal, and protects it. But what you do then is you need to paint it. So what I did is I bought some Hammerite, because I was in Halfords, and Hammerite was quite a good thing. You know, it was just available, so I bought. We're thinking the new boat colour should be blue, so I bought this blue. That's the colour there, just there. It's quite a nice, well, you've seen it outside, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go round and start to touch up bits. It's the wrong time of year to do it, really, because we're at the end of summer. It's the last day of summer in a couple of days, so coming into autumn is not the best time to do it. But when things need to be done, they need to be done. I'm also planning on replacing this shelf, because that shelf is a bit rickety, because it's not really held on there, so it's sort of balanced. It's balanced on a little batten there. So if you knock it, the whole thing just tips sideways and all the things fall off. So I'm probably going to put in a bespoke little cupboard there made out of 12mm ply. It's a wet day today, but they've closed the access road to our boat off. They warned us about it a few days ago, but now I know why. Because they've got that little boat going into the water, so they brought it down by road, and they've got a crane over there. You'll see the boat up there. The lorry that brought it has reversed back in, and then the yellow crane that's going to be wrapped round, and they're going to put a boat into the water. Looking the other way, we've got the family of swans. They're seeking out food all around. They came pecking at the boat this morning. This is the usual family of swans that come around. There's a mother and father and 4 babies. They're gradually turning more white, these ones. This one here, and that one there. They're the babies. And they think because I'm stood out here that I might have food. But they go down in between the boats, and they look for the grey water outlets, because the one of these was pecking at the grey water outlet this morning. So there it is. That's, I think, the boat named Daisy. It's quite a nice little name, isn't it? Yeah, so as I say, it's quite a wet morning. We've got rain in for the whole day, but yeah, that shouldn't worry us. We live on the water, so that's all. We've brightened up a bit, isn't it?
Yes, it's stopped raining, yeah.
It's still cloudy.
Yeah.
It stopped raining at last.
But I'll tell you, Pippin is moaning and shivering here,
Yeah,
but I brought her out because otherwise she likes to sit. If we've lit the stove with coal and that, and it's so glowing bright, she loves to sit by it on the chair with some blankets.
I'll try and show you the process of that in the next week's video.
We can't show it today because we've got to go and get some coal.
We got well,
I've got no coal.
We've run out of coal. We've run out of kindling.
Yeah.
You know, just usual stuff. So we're going to go and get some of that.
Stock up on it. Anyway, she always wears a jumper all the time, and when she goes out, she's got a coat. But this is a very pretty little jumper.
Very new jumper for Pippin.
And we got it from
B&M.
B&M, and yeah, it's in the Christmas range.
B&M down the way.
Yeah, and it was £3. Really been doing an awful lot at the moment. Still busy with the motorhome, and
it's been wet and cold.
Yeah,
we've got some stuff going on with the motorhome. You know, we're very close to selling.
Yep.
So if you're interested, send us an offer. You know, the retail value is around 62,000, but we're probably selling it trade. So if you're in for a bargain, make us an offer.
People have been asking us if we're going to do put out more videos, but we are thinking we'd like to do a live once a month, because I like watching them. Actually, there's some people I watch every month when they do their lives, and I really enjoy them. So we might think about doing that. But I feel quite stressed at the moment, what with the change and the Nikita being sold and one thing and another. But I'm getting there, and I tell you what. This is one thing about living on a boat, is you can have nice plants around all the time. And I bought this one from just next door to us. It's a garden centre, and this makes me very happy to have plants. I've got a rose bush that a family member's keeping for me. It's a memento that my mum bought when our last dog died, so I'll be able to bring that here now as well. So that's something I look forward to, because I think one of the things I really missed when we didn't have a place was even like a windowsill to put plants on, because it's very difficult in the van. I did a bit when we was out in Spain in the summer. Anyway, this is where I sit now, and it's lovely. I've got a beautiful view. We see lots of ducks and the wildlife, and people go by even in the winter. And next to me is the ash can where we put the ashes, and that's the 2 gas bottles in there. And these chains and that is when we want to moor up, and there's no bollards. I don't know what you call them, but anyway, we use those chains and the sticks, and we hammer them in. So
as Wendy says, that lots of people are asking for us to do more videos, but you know, it just takes up an awful lot of time and a lot of energy to do a video, and that's why we switched from our daily into a weekly, because we find that much more manageable with all the stuff we've got going on at the moment too. So we thought that a once a month live video, maybe on the first Tuesday of every month, you know, we'll do a sort of live during the day from here. And you know, you can jump onto the chat and ask us questions. Yeah, we treat it like a Q&A, really. I think. I'm not sure whether we'll do many more outside videos. It's windy, it's cold. We're, you know, really at the end of summer, and we get days always like this these days. Bearing in mind that we would have been, if it weren't for all the other things happening, we would have been in the south of Spain by now, this time of year. So, you know, that's a very big difference for us, isn't it?
Yes.
We would have been.
We would have been, yeah.
Would have been in the south of Spain. It would have been
But
nice and
it would have been nice.
warm.
But we like to mix things up so we don't get bored.
Yeah.
You don't
Well.
know what's going on. This is exciting. It's a change.
Our lives are never ever boring.
No.
You know, there's always something else going on. A lot of stuff to do to the boat. That, you know, we really got to focus on selling Nikita Chloe, the motorhome, first before we get on to the bits in the boat. We haven't even decided on paint inside, have we?
No.
You know, the ongoing what colour paint saga is a blooming nightmare, isn't it? We can't really agree what to paint, what colour paint, and where to paint that colour. So
No.
I don't know. You know,
I don't know. I don't.
we're going to leave it as it is
Yeah,
for the
just leave
time
it.
being.
That's why I say leave it. Leave
So-
it alone. Don't meddle with it. Just leave
Well,
it.
that I think that's always our motto, really.
Yeah.
If you can't decide, do nothing.
Yeah, do nothing.
Because that, you know, because if you're making decisions, you know, based upon nothing, you know, you can't decide, then it's a, you know, you just as well continue considering.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah. But what I noticed today is that even though we're plugged into shore power, and on the motorhome, if you're plugged into shore power, your leisure batteries are getting charged all the time. But on here, surprise, surprise, there's no blooming battery charger linked up to the main supply. It shouldn't be a surprise because it wasn't specified that there was one. But we got a voltmeter up here. Let's just show you that a bit closer. This little voltmeter is not on at the moment, so it only comes on when you turn the ignition on. So you put the ignition key in there, turn it, this charge light comes on, and the voltmeter pops up. But it's like most voltmeters, it's bloody useless, really. But not completely useless, but it never gives you a real good feeling for what the battery condition is. But I looked on the solar charge controller this morning, and it was down like 11 volts with the I'm charging sign going on. So I turned the engine on, and because when the engine's running, it charges the batteries. So that was no surprise, really. So we have to turn the engine on and run the engine like every couple of days